All right, welcome to this week's edition of Turkey Talk Radio with Outdoors Dan on the Outdoor Call Radio Network. Hope everyone's having a great Wednesday all across the good old US of A. Got a fun show for you. I want to say hello to everybody on Facebook that's watching us on the Outdoor Call Radio app Facebook page. Thanks to Imperial RV Centers for helping us stream the show every week on all the shows. We appreciate Denise and Zach over there in Ankeny. And I think we're going to let me go ahead and get Jim Coffey lined up. We got a good show for you tonight, and I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a lot of fun. So let's see if we can get him going here. Jim, what are you doing? You are? That's all right. I look forward to that. Hey, Turkey Talk Radio is brought to you by the fine folks at Rupert's Roost and Peace Turkey Calls. Want to thank Todd and all the gang out there on the East Coast for helping us talk turkey every time we get out in the outdoors for some little adventure. A lot of things going on turkey related today, and we're going to get into that with Jim. So, Jim, I've known Jim for a long time. Good, fine feller. I was lucky to have him as their turkey biologist. And man, Jim, I tell you what, you can't really complain about the weather, can you? Are they not cooperating? Yeah. Hey, everybody's going to have to just put up with me tonight on the video because Jim's driving and we couldn't get him on camera. So that's all right. We'll be all right. So they can hear you. I need to actually, you know what? I need to get, since you're on the phone, I need to get these headphones on. And let me turn that back on so they can hear you when you're talking, okay?
Okay.
Say something.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I think they can hear you now. So there you go. Hey, Jeff Kerr, good to see you, buddy. All right, that's awesome. Hey, I tell you, unseasonably warm weather. I've been getting some tremendous trail cam pictures, though, man. They're still flocked up pretty good, but boy, the birds are really looking good, Jim.
Yeah, that's pretty typical. Warm weather, they'll start to break up a little bit earlier, but we usually figure about mid-March in our latitude that they'll start to break up those winter flocks and start to disperse across the landscape.
Yeah, absolutely. What's Iowa's turkey population look like right now? How do we fare through the winter?
Yeah, so pretty well. We don't have a population model in Iowa. We just base it off of trend analysis, and we've on our third good year of brood of our summer brood survey. So we're on good numbers with turkeys in most parts of the state. Always some concern in the southeast and a little bit in the southwest with what's happening there. But overall, yeah, not a very stressful winter. We did have that one cold bout with some deep snows for a while. But we didn't see any mortality in our study birds. There is a little mortality usually in January and February with wild turkeys, and that typically comes from increased owl predation. So that's the nesting time of the year for owls, and it seems like that when owls take turkeys, it's usually in the winter months. So that's not unexpected.
Well, that's good. I know we had a little bit of snow here and there, but I mean, we didn't have the historically like the major ice and stuff that we normally get. Hank, how you doing down at Revelton and Osceola? Scotty in Oklahoma, thank you very much. 85 degrees in Oklahoma right now, Jim.
Yeah, it's a little hot for me.
That's a little hot for anybody, I would think.
I'm built more for Minnesota and Alaska than I am for Oklahoma and Texas.
You know, I'm all about the 50, 55, 60, 65 degree range. Anywhere in there, I'm pretty happy.
Yeah, that's perfect to be outside, moving around and staying busy.
So since we didn't have the ice, they were able to scratch down and kind of kept fed, and I think population survey is looking pretty good.
Yeah, we'll do our summer brood counts, the major survey, and we do a turkey flock count in the fall with our bow hunters, and so that data is just now being analyzed, and that'll kind of tell us what our bow hunters see on a trend from year to year to year in the 9 different agricultural regions.
Yeah.
So
how was
with a winter like this? You got to remember, turkeys eat a lot of things. In the Midwest, we think of that waste grain, but they're always eating buds, and I just looked at a turkey the other day that had a sprouted acorn in its gullet. So
really, you caught one and it die in the net or something? Or
this was just a bird that somebody turned in. They're out shed hunting and they found a dead bird.
Huh.
And so it was fresh enough. We were able to necrops it, and that's one of the things we look at is the gullet, the gizzard, and any other thing else we can poke at.
Well, they like acorns.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
They
yeah.
like anything green, and if it's warm now, you scratch underneath that leaf layer. That we never had a frost really in Iowa this year, so there's probably some greens under there, and they're picking up waste acorns, and they're always eating the little fresh buds on the trees. So there's lots of food out there on the landscape for a wild turkey.
Absolutely. So, all right. Well, good. I think turkey numbers were good. Did we get the numbers for the fall turkey season at all?
So the fall harvest this year, I think, was right at about 580, which is a little below our long-term average, but we've been seeing a decline. Most states have been seeing a decline in fall participation and harvest over the last 10 years. So we're right in where we've been at for the last 5 years.
Okay. All right. Well, I think things are looking good for the spring. Should have a lot of good those jakes. A lot of jakes. We should have some good 2-year-olds this year, huh? Good population.
Yep, and that's usually just kind of the driving force behind spring turkey hunting. Is 2-year-olds like to move, they like to gobble, and we've had again 3 good back-to-back years in most parts of the state, up the Midwest in general, but Iowa specifically. So there should be a good number of 2-year-old birds, and there should be a good number of jakes out there this year.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'm excited. Kansas, I got my Kansas non-resident turkey tag notification today. They had their first ever non-resident turkey draw. I've been blessed enough to go down there every year for 17, 18 years. And everybody's got concerns around the Midwest with turkey numbers and everything. So they went to a 1 bird, and they went to a non-resident draw. But it looks like everybody pretty much was successful. I think Unit 2 in Kansas I think Donovan told me they had 80-something tags left over, so there was some carryover, so that's a good thing.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I know it had a lot of people concerned, and I know Nebraska also limited their non-residents this year pretty severely, and I think they're sold out as of last week. There's no tags left in Nebraska, so people have to adjust this year.
Yeah.
Our non-resident draw is over in Iowa, and I think we only have a few tags left in Northeast Iowa for the first couple seasons. Other than that, it sold out right off the bat too.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, Jim Wallace, good to hear from you. I'm glad you're doing well. Jake, good morning, Jake from State Farm, or good afternoon. Jake's down in Florida. I don't know what he's doing down in sunny Florida, but he's down in Florida. I doubt if he's Osceola hunting. I guess Osceola season's already going, huh?
If not, it's going to be pretty soon.
Yeah, I mean it's almost. Can you believe the Iowa Deer Classic is next week already?
Next week, yep.
That's great. This spring is flying by already. It's insane.
I'm like NASCAR. I'm so far behind I've lapped myself.
There you go. Hey, I've been actually getting some really good, like I said, trail cam pics. I've been going on my Onyx and actually putting out different little markers or dropping pins where I'm going to put my blinds. Just from and I know turkeys are going to start separating here in a few weeks. What are people? I'm getting a lot of people asking me about. They're seeing turkeys out there doing fighting and stuff. Are they establishing pecking orders? They pretty much do that all the time, don't they?
Yeah, absolutely. And you've got those 2-year-old birds, and with the warm weather, that gets them a little giddy too. But they're starting to look at the testosterone levels are moving up with the increased day length. So they've been gobbling pretty heavy for a couple weeks, and they're starting to figure out when they're going to break up and who's going to be the dominant bird for the group.
How long? They do that every day off the roost?
What's that? The
fighting? Pecking order.
Well, pecking order is always a constant. It's a little bit like deer. There's always somebody challenging somebody. And if you really watch a turkey flock, just kind of like if you watch deer, usually the dominant bird is not the one fighting. He's already established he's the dominant bird. It's all the ones that are in that second fiddle category that are usually pushing and shoving and bouncing into each other.
Okay, I got to ask you this. Since you're the turkey man, how do they know who's the boss Tom?
Because he's the one that stands back and just watches everything.
So he's not thumping those youngsters.
He did it one time. I mean, he established himself through the fighting and the pecking order. But once he's established that, everybody kind of knows we don't mess with Joe. And somebody eventually will go over, and bump his chest and just see how fit he really is. He'll either have to step up and fight with them and establish that, or if he loses, then he'll move down in the pecking order.
Yeah,
typically that older age bird is pretty good in keeping that rank.
Yeah. Hey, Tony Casey, good to hear from you, buddy. Thanks for watching on the live stream. Appreciate you. We are visiting with Iowa DNR biologist Jim Coffey. We're talking turkey. It's the first show ever, Turkey Talk, brought to you in part by our good friends out at Rupert's Roost and Peace Turkey Calls. Thanks to Todd and everybody. So hey, listen. You actually taught me something 2 seasons ago because I had two toms come in, and I was shooting decaps, and I shot the one, and the other one would not leave. He just sat there and gobbled and went after my Jake decoy, come back around. And you told me that those were probably nesting pairs, huh?
Well, yeah, we always call them brothers.
Brothers?
They're two birds that have never left each other's side. They've always traveled with each other, and they just never had to be independent in most cases. Yeah. So they travel like twins. They do the same things all the time. They go the same places, and when something happens, the other one that kind of leaves the second one lost. He doesn't know how to react. He's waiting on his buddy.
Well, I had another tag, but I didn't feel like taking two. I was wanting to. I didn't want to. I wanted to be. I wasn't trying to be greedy, Jim. But but that bird was okay. I mean, he was going to be okay on his own, wasn't he?
Oh, sure. Yeah, he's just lost because he's never not been around that other bird. I mean, he'll be fine. It's just that he's waiting. Why is my buddy taking a nap? We're supposed to be going through the woods gobbling and strutting and doing the things we do. And so, and those two birds even those two birds would probably have a pecking order of some. One of them was the more dominant bird as far as leading the way or making the decisions, most likely. But you see that quite a bit. You see those birds that travel together like that.
So even nestmates or hatchlings or brothers, they get into it and fight as well.
Oh, sure. I mean, if you ever grew up with your own sibling, you're always poking at each other.
Well, I always said wild animals had more sense than we do, Jim. But but I learned. You always keep learning stuff like that, and I thought that was pretty fascinating when you told me that when we were talking. Hey, Mike, good to see you, man. Mike Kinney, thank you for watching today. So
that's one of the fun things about being in the woods is just those observations.
I've
always learning something.
Yeah, the last 30-something years turkey hunting, Jim, it's taught me so much. I mean, just the different sounds and vocalizations. I think if I remember right, 26 to 28 different vocalizations. Is it more than that, or am I in the ballpark? Do I remember right?
No, you're right. You're right in the ballpark. A lot of them are fairly similar, but that's what we say in general.
Yeah.
And then most of us as hunters could recognize 4 or 5 that are the common spring communication calls.
Yeah, I'm the spitting and drumming's the one that gets me the most. I mean, when you start hearing that, you know it's on.
It's go time, yeah.
Yeah, it's go time. That's good. Hey, when somebody just starting out now, we just had oh gosh darn it, Jamie on the other day, and you guys are starting a new turkey education program in Iowa to teach people that's never been turkey hunting, and I really think that's a great idea. It's basically from start to finish. Getting them educated on what to look for, topography, roosting trees, what to look for as far as turkey sign, all the way through the calling process and fixing it in the kitchen. I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, I've been teaching turkey seminars for going on 31 years now, and here formally the DNR has started about 4 or 5 years ago when we started seeing new people that wanted to come in that really didn't have a mentor.
Yeah.
And turkey hunting is one of those sports that really you benefit by having a mentor that shows you you're going to make mistakes and it'll be okay. And we try to cover that in the class. We go everything from the rules and the regulations, like you said, all the way to the crock pot or however you're going to cook it at the end, just to let people know that there are people out there to help you ask questions, and we're there, and we do it in over 2 nights, and we give them plenty of opportunity to do everything from sighting their gun to practicing turkey calls and then just asking lots of questions.
Absolutely. All right. Visiting with Iowa turkey biologist, Mr. Jim Coffey. It's first show on Turkey Talk tonight. So what do you, Jim, I mean, I've been doing this for a long time, but I can still remember all the mess ups I made, and I still mess up from time to time. But
absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, every time you got them figured out, you think they make an idiot out of you. But go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to say when you're talking to these people that are going out, I mean, what's your advice on calling techniques? Because most of the time, and when I'm doing seminars, I try to stress this as well. If you can learn just a yelp, cluck, purr, and maybe cut a little bit. That's really all you need.
Yep, and that's exactly what. Same thing I tell them too. Is from the basics. Is all you need to, if you can cluck and yelp, and then a purr is just kind of a calming call. You're a fine turkey hunter. We get caught up watching the Grand Nationals and the calling contests and the people that are out there doing all these things they're fun to watch, but not really necessary to kill a turkey.
Yeah.
And so we just try to break it down so it's not intimidating to people.
Yeah.
You can use Grandpa's gun. You can use old camouflage. You don't have to have all the equipment and stuff that's out there on the market and be successful. It's just that every little thing that boosts your confidence helps you become a better turkey hunter.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so I always explain that to people is like, whatever gives you confidence. If you don't think you have the right call because you're not confident in it, then you're probably not going to be successful because you're more worried about making a wrong call than being set up right or not moving or something else that's more critical.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, movement's the most, I think movement.
It's the number one death sentence is movement.
Yeah, because I'll be honest with you. I mean, Larry and them guys give me trouble all the time, Jim, about my calling ability. But I mean, it's just the worst turkey calls I've ever heard in my life. I'll say this until the good Lord takes me home. Is real hen turkeys, man. I've heard some bad calls from real birds.
Yep. If you hear a turkey call that's a little too polished, it's more likely a hunter than a wild turkey.
Yeah,
because wild turkeys are not good turkey callers.
Hey, Hey, NBH, good to see you, buddy. Thanks for listening. Aaron, thank you very much. Jeff, thank you about that. I appreciate that. What do Aaron wants to know if there's any talk about adding another predator season to combat the raccoons, skunks, possums.
I guess adding another predator season. I don't know what that would be. We in Iowa specifically, we have an extended open trapping season and hunting season. Now, last year with legislation, you have the ability on agricultural land to harvest coons year round.
You can do it year round now. Yeah. So there you go, Aaron.
With raccoons. Now, some of the other species are more protected.
Well, I think Kansas is going to start doing that year round too. I think that's on the Attorney General's desk, if I read that right.
Yeah, that's the beauty of social media now is when one state does something, whether it works or not, the rest of them think we're behind. We all have to do it too. And
yeah.
So the reality of it is that it has no to little impact on wild turkey populations. It tends to make people feel good. So I mean that's the blunt statement of it. There's some legislation in Iowa now. I don't know if it passed the funnel that they're wanting to institute a bounty on coons. And we already have an open season, so I'm not sure where we're going with that.
Yeah, there you go. Hey, Jim, hang on. I got to take a real quick break. This will be real short, so just give me a couple minutes and hang right there. We'll be right back with Iowa turkey biologist Mr. Jim Coffey. It's Turkey Talk Radio on the Outdoor Call Radio Network, and we'll be right back.
Hey students, are you into shooting sports? Well, if you are, have you ever thought about using your passion to help you through college? Grandview University is a small private college that is looking for students that have a passion for the shooting sports and learning. Grandview University has a shooting sports program that if you qualify will give you a guaranteed rate for your whole education while on the shooting team. That means your cost won't go up, you will get to experience a new level of competition and learn in a small class size with the feel of a larger campus.
What's up, everybody?
Of opportunities. So if you're looking to advance your education and love to shoot, why not shoot for a college program that has produced countless All-Americans and has a winning record of 4 times national champion? Grandview Shooting Sports athletes will have your ammo, uniforms, travel, and education covered in your scholarship. If you like to shoot for the stars and push yourself, Grandview University wants to talk with you. For more information, check them out at gvvikings.com.
Heading to your favorite outdoor spot? Is your hunting, fishing, or utility knife ready for any task? Well, if you used the original Work Sharp knife and tool sharpener before you left, you bet they are. The Work Sharp knife and tool sharpener is designed to sharpen every knife you own. By using changeable, flexible, abrasive belts, the sharpening system is able to sharpen a variety of knives, including curved and serrated knives, tonto blades, fillet knives, gut hooks, axes, and even kitchen knives. The Work Sharp knife and tool sharpener does this with precision angle sharpening guides and flexible abrasive belts to ensure the proper 20-degree angle every time. Each Work Sharp knife and tool sharpener is assembled in the USA by a family-owned and operated company.
One more.
Customer service is always a call away. So if you love the outdoors and depend on a sharp knife, Consider checking out one of the WorkSharp knife and tool sharpeners or the WorkSharp guided field sharpener at a store near you, or anytime at WorkSharpTools.com. That's WorkSharpTools.com.
Vanes are very important to your arrow flight and for consistent grouping. FlexFletch and its fine lineup of products has been helping archers steer their arrows for over 50 years. Silent Night vanes are 30% thinner with a much greater taper than vanes out there. This contributes to a dramatic reduction of in-flight drag. FlexFletch vanes also have the capability of reshaping or bounce back after pass-through shots on targets or game. This ensures consistent arrow flight every time. FlexFletch offers a variety of colors, sizes, and styles for any archer to use in their setup. Whether it's for 3D indoor or hunting, FlexFletch has the vane for you. To see these great vanes and adhesives like Zing or FlexBond to get a great seal on your arrow when you fletch, go to your local dealer or flexfletch.com. FlexFletch, proudly made in the USA, based out of Minnesota.
All right, welcome back to Turkey Talk Radio on the Outdoor Call Radio Network. My guest is DNR biologist Mr. Jim Coffey, and we're talking turkey today. First show of Turkey Talk Radio. I have no idea what that was. Jim, you all right? You all right? Did I blow you out?
I'm good.
I don't think that's ever done that before. That was crazy. Yeah. So, hey, all right, Aaron was asking, he said he was talking about bobcats. They're not going to extend bobcat season, are they?
Well, we extended all the trapping seasons this year into late February, so that was a rule that was put into place last year.
But they're not going to go year-round on bobcats?
No.
Okay.
No. The only thing that was discussed with the legislature was the Code of Iowa, the law states that as a farmer, agricultural land, the raccoon season is open year-round. But we still, as an agency, have a trapping season that you can abide by for all other species and for the coons that you're actually trapping.
Okay. Thank you, Scotty Mueller. I appreciate that very much. Jerry Moyer over. Hey, Jerry in Pennsylvania. Go ahead, Jim.
Nope, you say your hellos.
What?
You can go ahead and say your hellos, but the thing I was going to add is that people get hung up on bobcats, and we'll never say that bobcats have never killed a turkey, but we did some pretty extensive research in Iowa about 10, 15 years ago with bobcats, and looked at several hundred stomachs of bobcats, and day in and day out, they're killing rabbits, squirrels, and mice. You can open up any bobcat stomach that you catch, and odds are there's going to be parts of a rabbit, a squirrel, or a mouse inside of it.
What?
Doesn't mean they're not eating turkeys, but
yeah, I've seen them. I've seen them on the stand take a turkey, but that's I can't say that's all the time. But what do you think? What do you think takes more poult or adult turkeys, a bobcat or a coyote?
Yeah, it's hard to say. I would say probably it depends. Coyotes probably get them off the nest.
Yeah.
Bobcats probably get them out in the open.
Okay.
It's just by the nature of how dogs and cats hunt. Cats stalk, and dogs tend to smell and pounce. So, each situation is a little bit different. Most nest predators probably are either smelling the hen or they're just randomly finding nests as they're scavenging for other things that they eat. We forget that raccoons eat everything. Skunks eat everything. We get worried about nests sometimes, and we get hung up on raccoons getting turkey nests. But there's been some pretty good research that shows that raccoons are just flipping over sticks and looking for anything and bumping into it. They're not actively searching for nests. They're just finding those nests when they're actively hunting.
Well, you and I have talked about this before, Jim. You got crows, you got snakes.
Squirrels.
Yeah.
Yep. Everything. Depending on your part of the country, whatever your local thing is that likes eggs. And I've said it 100 times, eggs are jelly beans.
Yeah.
Everything eats them if they can find them. So you villainize one predator and somebody else just steps up and does the same thing.
Well,
so we have to remember a good year of nest success may only be 25%.
Right.
So it's a numbers game. So the thing that really impacts turkey poults the most is weather and habitat. And I know it's a broken record, but those are the things that drive turkey production. And that's why we've had good production the last 3 years in the upper Midwest is drought. Drought years produce good turkeys.
Yeah.
It's just plain and simple.
Well, I know I saw a bunch of them in Kansas, so Central Kansas really came back real good. So that's a good thing. And hey, listen, it's good to have these conversations, Jim, because that's where you get to hear everybody's concerns, you get to hear their viewpoints, and you get a chance to do maybe a little education and work together, right?
That's exactly the meeting I'm heading to tonight, is a public comment meeting, so we can listen to people about what their concerns are with hunting and fishing in Iowa, hunting and trapping in Iowa. And we like to do that just because of that. We don't want people stewing on issues and then, having coffee shop rumors run around. We're professionals and we're hunters as well. We want to know what's going on out there. We want to know what concerns people. And if it's something that we can address through a rule or something that we can research to help make, their recreational opportunity better, we want to hear about it.
Yeah. Hey, I did have a question from Doug. Doug wanted to know, is it legal in Iowa to use the mechanical bases where you put your decoy in and you can remotely control left or right? It's with an RC.
Yeah. So that's a little bit of a controversy, and it's something that's left up to interpretation. So currently I would say yes, it is legal.
Okay.
But we've always interpreted that mechanical devices are not legal in Iowa. But that tends to now be interpreted as for waterfowl. So right now, there's nothing that specifically states you can't use them for turkeys.
Okay, so there's nothing in the code book that says you can't.
That's the way it's interpreted right now. Yeah.
Okay. There you go, Doug. There's your answer. I promised you I'd ask him. So, hey, Jim, I'm going to let you go. The half hour always goes really quick. Can I get you back? I need to get you on the Saturday morning show here in a couple weeks after the Classic if we can.
Yep, that'd be fine. I'm usually available, and I might even see you at the Classic.
Well, come on by and say hi, and I'll buy you a lemonade or something.
I'll be too busy answering deer questions.
There you go. Hey, Jim, if someone has a question for you or if they need to get a hold of you, what's the best way for them to do that?
Yeah, you can call the office. It's a shared research station. It's in our regulations booklet. It's easier than me giving out a number. Just look up the DNR regulations at iowadnr.gov and send me an email or call me at that number.
All right, buddy. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Anytime, Dan.
All right. Have a good meeting, buddy.
You bet.
There he goes, Iowa DNR biologist, Mr. Jim Coffey. Brandon, I didn't see your comment until after he got on there, so I will ask him next time when we get him on. I promise I will. Brandon says, but what about a wet hen is sniffed out easily by a raccoon? Then they smell bad enough when they're dry. I would agree with you on that. Turkeys kind of stink when they're wet. I agree with you. Hey, Roger in New York. Good to see you, everybody. Good. All right. All right. So what do I got? I got about 2.5 minutes here real quick. I want to Turkey, Kansas residents first draw today. All the results are out. So if you put in for the non-resident turkey tags in Kansas, go check your emails. You should have that. Iowa Deer Classic is going to be March 1st through the 3rd at the Iowa Event Center. You're going to get a chance to meet the man, the myth, the legend, Todd Rupert. Rupert's Roost and Peace Turkey Calls will be right next to the Outdoor Call Radio booth and Respect the Game TV booth, so we look forward to seeing everybody there. I'm going to have a whole bunch of deals going on. What did I say yesterday? I got some Arctic Ice Blaze Orange blocks. First 15 people to come over and say hi and show me the Outdoor Call Radio app on their phone. I would like it to be new people. I won't mention any names, but you come on by and say hi, and we'll make sure we get into those Arctic Ice blocks. Also going to have a big gearhead contest going on. If you go buy a big deal, if you go get a gearhead bow or a crossbow over at Archery Field and Sports during the Iowa Deer Classic, Skip is going to give everybody $300 off. I'm going to give the first 4 people that buy a vertical or crossbow from Gearhead a brand new spanking pair of Itasca hunting boots, and Mark at Archery Field and Sports is going to give them a $50 gift card. That's a heck of a deal, folks. So come on by and shoot some bows and see if we can make you happy with one. I love my B30. That B30 is driving tax, and I think Skip's bringing me a Pivot 30, which means it's 30 inches axle to axle, so I'm looking forward to that as well. So, hey, Iowa Deer Classic, they got more booths this year. Upper areas are full, plenty of seminars. They're going to have Weeby Knives with Swamp People there. Larry Mack's going to be doing some contests. And we're also going to be having a big turkey contest this spring. Thanks to the Knox County Slim Whitetails in Missouri, we're going to give away a 3 or 4 day turkey hunt trip. You're going to get some Gearhead gear, Dave Smith decoy, Flex Fletch products, Grizzly cooler, some Tacticam stuff, and some other. It's going to be a big deal. So I'll tell you more about that as we get closer to the season. And I just want to make sure I haven't gotten anything out of here. All right, I got to go because I'm going to get cut off if I don't. So that's going to wrap it up for this week's edition of Turkey Talk Radio. I want to thank everybody at Rupert's Roost and Peace Turkey Calls, Flex Fletch, Fourth Arrow, and Game Hide. Don't forget, 7 o'clock tonight, we'll be doing Unknown Files. We're going to be talking about the big fellow with 2 people from the Pacific Northwest that actually had an encounter. It's going to be fun. All right, we'll see you next time. And if you're on the app, I wouldn't go anywhere if I were you. I'm going to say goodnight to all the Facebook folks. I will see you at 7 for Unknown Files. Thank you, everybody.